Hey everybody, got my coffee. I'm staying warm, staying all revved up for day 4 of the Natalie Cochran case. I'm going to recap day 3 for you, which was Friday. It was a half a day, so everybody could go home and enjoy the snow and the inauguration, and then they get back to murder trials on Monday. So let me tell you what happened on Friday. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rebecca, and I recap live trials. So you have something to listen to while you're crafting out there. You can see some of my diamond painting crafts here. I also, where is it? I crochet. I'm a hooker. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. So let me tell you a little bit about Natalie Cochran in case you're not caught up. This will be day 3 recap. They were only there for a half a day. We wrapped up the Zachary Young case kind of mysteriously with a confidential settlement that nobody knows how much she actually got. He did get an award, a pretty hefty award. So let's go to day 3 of this case. Now, this is in West Virginia, where the prosecution is trying Natalie Cochran for the murder of her husband, Michael Cochran, on February. It's alleged that he collapsed on February 6th. He died 5 days later in hospice. But it's alleged that she murdered him on February 6th, or attempted to murder him, and did in fact murder him on February 6th of 2019, the same day that they had an appointment and interview with an executive from Bank of America to set up some private banking privileges. And the prosecution is alleging that this was the day that Michael was going to find out that Natalie was involved in this huge Ponzi scheme. And Michael was going to figure it out. Now, the defense's argument is Michael knew about this Ponzi scheme all along. He was helping her out with it. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I guess that's a fact that the jury is going to have to weigh and decide based on the credibility of the witnesses. So she has already been tried for the Ponzi scheme in federal court. She took a plea, and she's serving 11 years and 3 months sentence in federal prison. But she's here for this trial. And nice looking woman, very put together, I would say. And her attorney is from Poland. Not too difficult, very heavy accent, but not difficult to understand. So the first person on the stand on day 3 is Jason Bowen. He was one of the 2 contractors that Natalie texted. So these 2 contractors, it was Jason Bowen with his company and his business partner, Jonathan Miller, with his company. They came together and they were working in 2019 full-time for the Cochrans. And they were working out of an airplane hangar. And I have no idea on projects. I don't know what these projects were, but Jason actually was aware that Mike was helping with this business. Well, what did you know that he was doing? Well, he would research contracts, and then when he found something, he would refer it over to Natalie. Okay, so that's pretty much the extent of Mike's knowledge that's in evidence so far. So on the morning of, let me back up a second. Jason, right now, I just got to get this in because his company now in 2025 is called Dreamcatchers Construction. Like, how cool is that name? Dreamcatchers Construction. I'd hire them. So I will tell you that the business partner, Jonathan Miller, was killed in an auto accident in March of 2020. So we will not be hearing from him. So we're just going to have to, whatever these 2 contractors did, we're going to hear from this one contractor. So they were at Lowe's that morning shopping. They were leaving and getting into their vehicle, their truck, when they get a text from Natalie that Michael has collapsed. Can you come help me pick him up. So that text came through at 12:21 p.m. So they, load up the truck. They go over there. They're there within 10, 15 minutes. They knock on the door, open the door, and, call out. And she says, I'm in the kitchen. Come on in. So they go into the kitchen, and Mike is on the floor, all curled up. Now, he was shown a picture. There's been a picture out there of Michael laying on the floor, and he says that's consistent with what he looked like when he found him. Non-responsive. They were there a total of about 20 minutes, he and his business partner, and he said he never responded, never talked, was never conscious the entire time they were there. So Natalie tells them that he was at the kitchen sink, started to pass out, and then lowers himself to the floor using the cabinets. So I guess that's insinuating that she saw this happen. So she asked them, can you pick him up and put him on the couch? Now, this is a guy who's 6 foot, whatever, 200 pounds. So these two contractors, they pick him up, they put him on the couch. Again, not conscious. Jonathan actually does a sternal rub. That's where you take your knuckles and you just rub as hard as you can. And he said that Mike moaned, but was not conscious. So they thought he needed to be treated. They, he needs the hospital. And she's like, no, he's going to be okay. This had happened to him one time before, where he had a seizure. He was taken to the hospital, and they determined that it was as a result of exposure to black mold. Now, this Jason guy is saying before that, in the few months before that, and all right, that was in December of 2018. So in the October, November timeframe, he was complaining to Jason and Jonathan that he wasn't feeling well. And again, before this February 6th collapse in January, he was complaining again that he didn't feel right, that he thinks he's being poisoned. So this begs the question, did she try once before and it just didn't work, and they attributed it to black mold? Interesting. Just a question that's out. There's no evidence of it except that he got sick one time before that. So he's moved to the couch. Within about 5 minutes, she starts taking his vital signs. And this guy, he doesn't know health. He's not a healthcare person. She was calling out numbers. I don't know what they were. She checked his blood sugar. Don't know anything about that. She didn't say it was high, low. She's just calling out numbers. But within about 5 minutes of them getting him on the couch, one of the other neighbors comes over, so they leave. He and Jonathan, they leave. And throughout the day, they are texting her, and for updates. And she keeps saying, well, he's the same. He's sleeping it off, because usually you go into this deep sleep after you have a seizure. So he was asked by the defense attorney if he had any memory of getting a text from Mike that morning that he wasn't feeling well. And he says, I don't remember a text like that. If you can show it to me. He didn't show him a text. So is there really a text, or is he just throwing that out there? I don't know. So there was an incident that the plaintiff wanted brought it, the defense, I'm still on that civil trial, that the plaintiff, all right. So there was a point that the defense attorney brought out that I thought was interesting, that a couple of weeks before this February 6th collapse, they had gone to Lowe's, the three of them, and Mike had driven his truck, but when he came out, he couldn't remember where he had parked the truck. Now, if that's me, that is not unusual. because I'll go into my grocery store and come out and have no clue where I parked. That's just me. But who knows? I'm old. Anyway, he was asked, is there a bedroom upstairs? You've been in the house, right? I've been in the house. Is the bedroom upstairs? The bedroom's upstairs, master bedroom. So, and how much does he weigh? Over 200 pounds. Yeah. So here's what you'd have to believe, that she injected him with, in this case, they're alleging it's insulin. And when he goes unresponsive, she has to drag him out of the bed, down the stairs, through the house, and into the kitchen. Seem possible? No. He did know that Mike took supplements. Now, he was asked by the defense attorney, did you ever see him take like 30 at a time? No, he just told me he took supplements. I never saw him take any. So he did say that he had knowledge of their business, to the extent that she had a business and Mike would research these government contracts on the internet. And then when he found something, he would forward it to Natalie. So he was asked by the defense attorney, he didn't like hospitals, did he? And he's like, it's not that he didn't like hospitals. He didn't like Raleigh Hospital. So that's an interesting point as well. All right, so then we go over to the second witness of the day. This is this cutie patootie FBI agent. He's a chemist, forensic chemist. So part of his job is he takes evidence in from local field offices and other FBI agents running cases, and he decides what needs to be done with that evidence, and then he processes the evidence. So in this case, from the local FBI office, he received 3 vials. The first vial was labeled methylprednisolone. It was prednisone. Let me just say that. The second bottle was, I'm going to butcher this, was inclopravine citrate. That's what it was labeled. The third vial was labeled Humalog insulin Lispro. So he tested each one of them. Well, first he took the vials, he drew fluid out of each of the vial, put it into a separate vial, tested it against, he has a whole library of known samples. And the first vial was consistent with what it said it was in there, prednisone. I don't know what they were doing with that. Maybe that was part of his steroid regimen. I don't know. Second bottle was not what it said it was inside. That, I'm going to butcher this, the citrate. We'll just call it citrate. It's not for human consumption, whatever it was. But what was in the bottle was not that. And that bottle, as it was pointed out by the prosecution, was not found in their house. It was found somewhere else. So the third thing that was found in their house was this Humalog insulin vial, Lispro. Now, this is a fast-acting insulin. It's one of those insulins that you take before you take however many units you're supposed to take before a meal, and it starts acting within 15 minutes. Because if you've got diabetes, that meal is going to raise your blood sugar astronomically, and that insulin kind of keeps it at an even keel, so you don't crash 2 hours later. But if you're already have a normal blood sugar, not a high blood sugar, and you're eating this meal, or even if you don't eat the meal, obviously he's not eating a meal. If your blood sugar is normal, it's going to drop that blood sugar. And in this case, they're alleging that he went unconscious. He sat on that couch for so many hours that he suffered brain death by the time he got to the hospital. So, very sad. So, yes, that's what was in the vial. Insulin was in the vial. Now, here's my question. I don't know about 2019, but I know now when you go to get insulin, this is the very same insulin my sister takes, but it's in a pen. You get the pen. The pen is enough for, I don't know how long a pen lasts, but you're not You're not given a vial and needles, and you have to you have to, say, how much do I want, like the old days. But I don't know when that came about, when these injectable pens came about. And if it was in existence in 2019, why did she have a vial? Yeah, I don't know. Unless that was just like for emergencies. Now, did she get it from her neighbor? Her neighbor's son was diabetic, and she would pick up his medicine with their permission. But that father testified there was no reason she would have had insulin in her home. But this insulin bottle was found 4 months after he passed away. That's when they searched his home. Yeah. So that was the testimony from day 3. So today will be a full day of testimony. I will bring that to you tomorrow, the recap. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. I read all your comments. And have a wonderful Tuesday, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.